So this is part 2 of the practice questions, or the answers to the practice questions. So the first one, define the term network protocol. So any kind of protocol is some form of agreed set of rules. So it's an agreed set of rules, things that are agreed by at least two parties. In this case, for the transfer of data. So there are lots of different protocols that are used on networks, obviously including things like TCP/IP, but they're all an agreed set of rules that lays out how data is transferred and received. So then we move on to a multi-choice, a shade the lozenge question. Which two of the following are email protocols? So those are IMAP, Internet Message Access Protocol, and SMTP, Simple Message Transfer Protocol. All of the other ones are correct protocols and something to do with the network. So file transfer protocol for sending files, like uploading to a web server. HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, used for sending and receiving and displaying web pages. TCP, Transport or Transmission Control Protocol, used for guaranteed sending messages as packets and for guaranteeing the arrival. And User Datagram Protocol, UDP, used often for video streaming, because it doesn't guarantee the arrival of every packet, but it's much faster than TCP as a result, so it can just keep going, and it doesn't matter if we lose a few frames of video, because we can usually make that up or not notice it as a human. So then we've got this question about network topology. It says, draw a simple diagram to show a star network topology using 4 desktop computers. So you've got to put 4 computers on, so don't put anything extra on, don't put access points or anything else, just put the 4 computers on. So I've drawn them like with a monitor on the top, but you don't have to. A square box would be absolutely fine. You need a hub in the middle that they're all connected to, or a switch. So each computer is connected by its own cable to the hub in the middle. Don't put a server on, don't put anything else on, because it's not asked you to do so. And then the same question is again for a bus topology with 4 desktop computers. And the idea of a bus is we've got one spine cable and the computers are all attached to that spine cable in that way. So they don't have an individual cable to anything. They use this shared cable. I've put 2 terminators in on the end. I'm not sure you actually have to get the marks on this, but you do need the 4 PCs and the spine cable. And then moving down to this question, which is the correct statement about secondary storage. The only one of these that's correct is B. Secondary storage is non-volatile, so it doesn't lose its contents when you turn off the power, because that's the whole point of secondary storage, that we can keep data on secondary storage when the power is turned off. So when we turn the computer off, we've still got all of the programs, etc., on our hard disk or on our SSD, and they're still there. So all of the other ones are incorrect on that one. Describing how an optical disc is read for 4 marks. This is my model answer that's on Firefly anyway. So it's more than 4 marks on here. There's plenty of marks, but you'll get marks for saying things like it has 1 long spiral track. Pits and lands we've mentioned. A laser shines on the disc, focusing on a point on the track. That's definite point. The light's reflected from the shiny surface of the disc and received and measured by a light sensor. Another point there for reflecting. A pit scatters light, so less light's reflected back than from a land. So you can use the sensor to detect the difference and convert it to binary. So if you're going to say something about pits and lands, then say what they do and how that means they could be converted to binary, and you definitely get the marks for that. So then I've said the disc spins, you're going to get a point for that. In the drive, which allows the laser to follow the spiral track around the disc from the inside to the outside. And this is just a bit of extra. The speed of the disc is variable as it needs to spin at different speeds depending on which part of the track's being read. That's just a bit of extra. It is true, and you definitely get marks for it, but you've probably already got the 4 marks already, at least, possibly 6 or more on this. So that's the next few questions on the practice questions.